So here's a quick peek of the tank. Before we get to that, let's get to the filtering system where it all starts. Got all my nice vacuum, all the things I need, supplies, filter socks hanging on the side of that. Got a nice stand made for my filtering system. Sediment filter, 2 carbon filters for ammonia. Where's my test kit? The water comes out of the top of the hot water tank for cold water through the valve into here, and we got 2 different valves here. This valve, this is for a quick fill. This valve comes around into this bin, which is a holding tank for top off trickle flow, and I got an overflow, and it comes out of the bottom there. That automatically fills up. And so normally I'll put the water into here, let it warm up, let it sit for a day, and then when I want to do a water change, all I need to do is open the blue line, and that'll just slowly trickle through in about anywhere from 7 to 12 hours, depending how much I open it, how slow I want to replace the water. This one is a quick fill. If I want to do a quick fill, it just comes straight out of the filtering system down into that one. So, and this will have a drain on the bottom of it so I can flush it out and keep it clean. It goes into a drain where the filter condensate goes, the air conditioning condensate goes. So that's in my utility area. So, and we go back out to the tank, and the water lines, which comes out the return register in the back and ran through the return. This electric needs cleaned up yet. That's an air pump. So these 2 valves, one is just for an open drain that is trickling right now. That's for water changes. I'll show you how that works in a minute, but you see it trickling. Hopefully you can see it. The blue one I normally keep open, and it does, you can probably see it coming out of here, has a float valve to keep the water level. Right now it's a little low because it's changing the water out, but normally I don't need to worry about that. Level never really changes. And there's the multi-variable speed pump. Got the pump controller here. I got the light controller right here for LEDs, which I got at a big discount on MacBid. So and for the auto fill, I got an overflow drain. If it goes too high, it'll go into that drain. I open this valve when I'm doing water changes, and it'll just, as it goes above that, it'll go down. And on this side, I'm going to do something with this cabinet too. I'll show you in a bit. This side, I got the plumbing. Go drill the hole in the tank, and it goes down into the return, which actually connects back under the laundry room for the overflow. And there's a water line that comes out of the return. Don't tell my landlord I crawled under the place and ran all that. Of course, he thinks the water line is for the ice maker. So I'm actually going to cut this out, cut this panel out to the opening of the joists, and put it back on. And I'm going to recoat, face the front of that with doors on both sides. I'll cut all this out to the joists and the studs, and all 3 sides, and so there'll be doors access to all this. So and that's my return. It's a filter sock. Down underneath here I have lava rock for bio. It'll build up bacteria, and that's kind of like little bio balls. They swirl around and keep themselves clean. That's where bacteria lives, and they just swirl around in the bubbles. The water, I put dividers on here so the water comes in here, goes down underneath this piece of glass, up over this piece of glass, swirls around in here, and does the same over there, another divider, and that way the water always stays at the same level. And compartmentalized, and there's all the plumbing up under the tank that I drilled out over in the corner. Now to the main tank. Got 3 overflows, 1, 2, 3. I built glass boxes. These will eventually be planters. It's open, 1/4 inch on the bottom. Water comes out the very bottom down by the air stone. Same with this corner one. There's an opening down the bottom. The water flows in. And that's so the water can go. The water will flow in this way and this way and mix in this area, keeping the gravel mostly clear except for over here. I want to put a little circulating pump. Some of the fish like a current, pretty good current, so I'll put that on once in a while. And the water comes out of that one, and that one on the bottom swirls around, comes up, goes up to the overflow, which I had installed. I got that online cheap. And 2 openings. That's the emergency drain. If I put it on high speed, that'll actually come up into that one too. Otherwise, I got a little cap that just comes off. I can adjust the flow by turning the holes open or closed, and that all returns back down to the sump. So pretty simple system. And I'm rooting some bamboo right now, and I'll put some regular house ivy. That'll help suck the nutrients out of the water. Eventually, I'd like to put those into these planters and see if they can handle the high water volume. And I have a little plan for something over in here that I'll build out of spare glass from tanks that are broken, and hopefully a little pond with some fish in it, a little overflow with waterfall coming down some rocks. That's a later project. Right now, next thing I'm going to do is build some interior backgrounds. I put lava rock in those, and also for beneficial bacteria appearance. And I'll probably build a rock wall between the two with little caves, and put little planters in there for live plants. These are nice, but the fish definitely like that's moss. I'm going to use that for breeding, so I'm growing that in there right now. I'll take some of that out, put it in Tupperware bowls, and the neon tetras, which are the blue ones there, they'll propagate quite well in there. And then I got the moonlight tetras, which are, there's a where's it at? There's the moonlight tetras going back. There's one going right in front of that house there. There it is, right there. So moonlight tetra. The gold ones, white ones are mountain minnows. White mountain minnows are the golden white mountain minnows, and the ones next to them, swimming with them, are regular mountain minnows that kind of look like trout. So, and I also have some Cory catfish, which are snoozing right now. There's about 10 of those in there, albinos and peppers. They'll come out and they just hit the gravel swinging their tails in the air. There's a little, I don't know what that is. Somebody showed up in a bag with the other fish. I think it's a molly or something. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Like I said, these cabinets, I'm going to cut these out and cut that out over there in the middle of this one and both sides, and I'll put plywood on the outside of that. 2 big doors in the middle here, and then 2 doors on either end, and easy access to my sump. I change out that filter sock about every 3 days, and I vacuum with my suction vac. I'll just vacuum out and dump everything right into the filter sock and then replace the sock. So that's about it. Looks pretty good. And at nighttime, I'll send you a little night video. Turn the lights off and I leave blue lights on for the backdrop. And yep, fish are all doing good. Parameters of the water is doing good. So thank you very much. It's been a fun project. Of course, I can't leave well enough alone. I'll be continuing the project as I go. All right, buddy. There you go. Oh, and I did take, and I resealed all this. So you got to do that when you get a new tank, or a used tank, that is. Just to be on the safe side. You hate to tear it down and get stuff in there. So I also have a filter stone underneath there. I was bubbling up, getting some plant movement, but the fish stayed over in the corner. They didn't like it too much with the bubbles. So, yep. They're enjoying life in there. They get overly fed. See, some of my females are pretty plump with eggs. And they'll probably start spawning right in that moss before long. All right, buddy, thank you. There's your fish tank.